Good morning, evening, afternoon, everyone. My name is Mark,
And I'm Zoe.
and we are the Board Adventurers back with another Late to the Game for Two-Player Month. We're going to talk about Fox in the Forest, a two-player game designed by Joshua Burgle and published by Foxtrot and Renegade Studios. Now, Fox in the Forest is a trick-taking card game where you're going to first deal out 13 cards to a player. The remaining 7 cards are going to be on the board, and you're going to flip the top one. That's going to be the trump suit. Then, starting with the first player, they're going to play a card, and then their opponent will play a card. Whoever is the high, so whenever a person plays, that becomes the suit that their opponent needs to follow. That person will then have to play a card of the same suit. When they play a card, if they have a higher number of the same suit, they will win that trick. If that player doesn't have the color in their hand, they can play any card from their hand. If they play the suit, the card that has the suit of the card that's on the board, they will play the trump suit, so they'll immediately win that hand. Along with that, there are 6 effects that are on the odd numbered cards on here. We won't go into them. They do a variety of effects that you can just read off the card. At the end of the round, after you've played 13 cards, you're going to score based on how many tricks you've won. And this is where like some of the beauty of the game comes in, is that if you've scored 0 to 3, meaning that you've like won very low amounts of tricks, you actually score the most amount of points. Then you start to scale based on 4 to 8. So if you win 4 to 8, you are going to get, an increasing scale. And then if you get 7 to 9 tricks out of the 13, you become a victorious. But if you exceed 10, if you get 10 to 13 tricks won, you've actually been too greedy. They ain't going to give you points for that. They're going to say, no, the other person gets it. You've been too much. You're going to keep playing rounds until someone has scored 21 points. And then that person will win Fox in the Forest. That is the game. What do you think?
Yeah, Fox in the Forest is a trick-taking game that's pretty good. Really, the hook of the game is the scoring mechanics at the end, where you kind of like trying not to win tricks or trying to win a specific amount of tricks. I like that if you win 0 to 3 tricks, you get them, 6 points. And the other way to get 6 points is to win only 7 to 9. Anything outside of those numbers or decreasingly lower and lower.
Right.
So you're really trying to figure out how many tricks you're trying to win, how to win them, which I enjoy because you're looking at what you're trying to figure out what your opponents have and what they're trying to accomplish and trying to, stop them from doing that or trying to get them. If you have someone who's trying not to win any tricks, try to force them to win tricks.
Yeah, and you get that tension as you get further into the game, is that, or into the round, because like at round like 11, say you've already won 6, you want to get into that 1, but you like your opponent's trying to desperately get back into that 0 to into that 4 just to catch up.
Yeah, there's some good game elements to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Some games are really good if there's opposing people trying to do different things. You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to win tricks, they're trying to lose tricks.
Yeah,
Who's trying to? That's when the game.
I don't want them to win too many tricks. I don't want me to lose too many tricks.
Yeah, that's when the game really sings.
Yeah.
I do like the card abilities as well. I think they're decent. I think they could be better. But they're decent. I like that. It's a good game. What really kind of brings the game down for me, and I'm curious your thoughts about this as well, is I just think there are so many better trick-taking games in the market. Yeah. That kind of really brings this down for me, which is I think this is good, but have you played this?
Yeah.
You should play this.
Right,
kind of
that's
thing
fair.
Is where I'm at with this game. But what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I enjoy this game for what it is. And in terms of like a 2-player, I'm very particular with a 2-player game, especially if it comes to trick-taking, just because I like that kind of like, I like to be able to play against more people if I can, whereas this one's just more of a one-on-one battle.
Yeah.
The effects that you have do change up the game to some extent. Like it lets you change the card that's the trump with maybe a card in your hand, or you could draw a new card and then shift the card that you have into
Yeah.
the bottom. And it adds a little bit of intrigue in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was concerned about like having just the three colors. It just felt like a trick-taking game to me. The more that we ended up playing it, where like it didn't feel like the theme was very there in terms of like this fox and like a more magical type of theme.
Yeah, it wasn't really there.
For a trick-taking game, it's decent, but
Yeah.
I would prefer games like some sort of co-op, like the Crew.
Yeah.
As opposed to this one, but it's not bad.
It's not a bad game. I think I'm curious to try something like the Fox and the Forest duet, seeing how that kind of works.
Yeah.
It's a decent game. I think the scoring mechanics is cool, but not enough to differentiate this from other games in the market that's doing things similar to it.
Yeah, I think just like it's that because every round you're doing one of the two things. You're either trying to get like the lowest amount of tricks won, or you're trying to get the highest amount of tricks won. And a lot of times it's just you're susceptible to whatever you have in your hand.
Yeah.
It's like I can't shift my cards as much as I want them to. So because I might say have much higher cards in my hand, I'm more likely to win a lot of these tricks.
Yeah.
And so there is some, like there's a ways to mitigate around that. But it's like it's less control I feel that you have on what you can play.
Yeah. I think it's a game too that knows that it occasionally really sings, and in some games where it's really bad, which is why I probably have the 21. You win by getting 21 points.
Right.
So you play a round,
Playing
the most you
multiple
can get
rounds,
is 6 points.
Yeah.
So like they know there's going to be some plays that's going to be bad, some plays that's going to be really
And
good.
the treasures do give you points, so like that sometimes that may like help swing it a little bit. But again, the treasure is what you have in your hand, either that or you somehow draw it out.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anything else you want to add? Or?
Yeah, no, I think that it's just a game that's pretty decent. But in terms of buy, skip, play, where does this rank for you?
I think for me, this is a down the middle. This is on a play. I don't think you should pass on it, but I also don't think you should own it. If you can find a copy, definitely play it. See how that kind of interacts with you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Yeah, like I think multiple plays of this game, you'll start to see kind of like the mechanics of everything run through, and all the cards. You'll kind of like almost know exactly how to play certain cards by that point, and it becomes something that's like a secon nature type of
It
game.
becomes more mechanical as time goes on.
Yeah, so that's where I would land. I would land on a play.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm on a play / skip. If someone like offered to play it, I probably wouldn't turn it down. But I think because you mentioned the mechanical nature of the game, where it's kind of like it's worse and worse each time you play because you just know when to play certain things. That after a while, I feel like I'll just skip playing this game altogether when it's offered. It becomes less interesting over time. I don't think it's a bad game. I just think there's better games that's doing what it's doing.
It's just susceptible to the time factor, because the more you play, the more you'll know exactly how to play this game.
But that's our late to the game review of the Fox and the Forest. Let us know your thoughts below. I'm Zoe.
I'm Mark.
See you on the next adventure.